Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic so wild, so unexpected, it'll make you question everything you thought you knew about geography. We're talking about the Philippines and the Caribbean. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jay, those places are literally on opposite sides of the planet. And you're right, they are. But stick with me, people, because despite the distance, these two island regions share some crazy similarities. We're talking cultural influences, historical parallels, even the food on your plate. You'll be stunned by the connections we uncover. It's like looking at identical twins separated at birth, only in this case it's island nations separated by, well, a whole lot of ocean. So, buckle up, get ready to expand your world map, and maybe, just maybe, have a good laugh along the way. Let's dive into the fascinating world of the Philippines and the Caribbean. Let's explore. First things first, let's talk geography. Both the Philippines and the Caribbean are absolute island paradises. We're talking crystal clear waters, beaches that stretch on for days, lush rainforests teeming with life. You know, the kind of place you see on postcards and instantly regret booking that flight to, say, Cleveland. But here's the catch. Mother Nature loves a good plot twist. You see, both regions are smack dab in the middle of Typhoon and Hurricane Alley. That's right, folks, just when you're picturing yourself sipping on a piña colada, a massive storm rolls in and reminds you who's really in charge. It's a constant reminder that paradise often comes with a side of, well, potential natural disasters. But hey, that's part of what makes these places so resilient, right? They rebuild, they adapt, they throw another shrimp on the Barbie, and keep dancing. Speaking of resilience, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the conquistador in the galleon, Now it's no secret that both the Philippines and the Caribbean have a bit of a history with European powers. I'm talking centuries of colonization, folks, the kind that leaves a mark on everything, from the language you speak to the food you eat. In the Philippines, you had the Spanish hanging around for over 300 years, leaving their mark on everything from architecture to religion. And just when the Filipinos thought they were free, in swooped the Americans, adding their own unique flavor to the mix. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, it was like a colonial block party. You had the Spanish, the British, the French, the Dutch, all vying for a piece of the island paradise. The result? A melting pot of cultures, languages, and cuisines that's as diverse as it is delicious. But hey, it's not all about the past, right? Let's focus on the positive, shall we? And what's more positive than a fiesta? Okay, so maybe fiesta isn't the most objective term, but you have to admit, both the Philippines and the Caribbean know how to throw a party. And a lot of that, my friends, can be traced back to our old pal, Spain. You see, when the Spanish conquistadors weren't busy, conquering, they were busy spreading their culture. And nothing says cultural diffusion like a good old-fashioned Catholic fiesta. In the Philippines, you've got Sinulog, Adi-Adihan, Pahiyas, festivals bursting with color, music, and enough dancing to make your head spin. And don't even get me started on the food. Lechon, adobo, sinigang, it's enough to make your taste buds sing. And then there's the Caribbean. From Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago to Junkanoo in the Bahamas, these islands know how to celebrate. And just like in the Philippines, the Spanish influence is undeniable, from the music to the food to the general air of joyous chaos. Chapter 4. A World of Faces. Now, let's talk about the people because let's be honest, that's what makes any place truly special. And in both the Philippines and the Caribbean, you'll find a tapestry of cultures and ethnicities that's as vibrant as the coral reefs surrounding them. You see, colonialism might have left its mark, but it also brought people together from all corners of the globe. In the Philippines, you've got a mix of Malay, Chinese, Spanish, and American influences. It's a melting pot of cultures that's reflected in everything from the food to the language to the faces you see on the street. And then there's the Caribbean, where the mix is even more pronounced. You've got African, European, indigenous, and even South Asian heritage all thrown into the mix. It's a beautiful thing, really, this blending of cultures, this creation of something entirely new and unique. It's a reminder that diversity is not just a buzzword, it's the very fabric of these societies. It's what gives them their flavor, their soul, their undeniable zest for life. Chapter 5. Under One Roof, Catholicism's Long Reach. Alright, let's talk religion for a second because believe it or not, even faith has some surprising connections in these two island nations. See, when Spain went around planting flags, they also brought along a few priests, and well, let's just say they were pretty persuasive. The result? Both the Philippines and a good chunk of the Caribbean are predominantly Catholic. We're talking massive churches, elaborate processions, and enough religious icons to make your head spin, but it's not just about the rituals, you see. Catholicism is deeply woven into the fabric of everyday life in these regions. It's about family, community, and a shared sense of faith that transcends borders and even continents. It's a reminder that even in our increasingly secular world, religion still holds a powerful sway over billions of people, shaping their beliefs, their values, and even their dance moves. And speaking of dance moves, Chapter 6, Rhythm of the Islands. Let's be honest, folks, no one throws a party like the islands. And when it comes to music and dance, both the Philippines and the Caribbean are in a league of their own. We're talking rhythms that get under your skin, melodies that stay with you long after the music stops, and dance moves that could shame a professional contortionist. In the Caribbean, you've got reggae, salsa, calypso, soca, genres that practically scream sunshine and good times. It's music that makes you want to move, to let loose, to forget your worries and just embrace the moment. And then there's the Philippines, with its own unique blend of traditional folk dances, heartfelt Kundiman love songs, and even a touch of Latin-inspired flair. It's a testament to the country's diverse cultural influences, a fusion of East and West that's as captivating as it is contagious. Whether it's the pulsating rhythms of the Caribbean or the soulful melodies of the Philippines, one thing's for sure: these islands know how to get down. It's a celebration of life, of culture, of the sheer joy of movement. It's infectious, it's liberating, and it's impossible to resist. Okay folks, let's talk about something near and dear to all our hearts: throwing a good party. And when it comes to festivals, both the Philippines and the Caribbean are masters of the craft. We're talking celebrations that make Mardi Gras look like a quiet night in. In the Philippines, you've got Sinulog, a riot of color and religious fervor honoring the Santo Niño. Then there's Ati-Atihan, a vibrant display of tribal dances and costumes celebrating the island's indigenous roots. And let's not forget Pahiyas, a festival so unique, they decorate houses with fruits and vegetables. Talk about edible landscaping. Meanwhile, the Caribbean takes partying to a whole new level. Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago is the ultimate street party, a dazzling spectacle of costumes, music and dance that lasts for days. Junkanoo in the Bahamas is another must-see, with its elaborate costumes, pulsating rhythms, and infectious energy. And then there's the Dominican Republic's Merengue Festival, a celebration of the country's national dance that'll have you moving your hips whether you like it or not. So, whether you're down with the Santo Niño or feeling the carnival vibes, one thing's for sure: these islands know how to throw a party for the ages. It's a chance to let loose, to embrace tradition, and to celebrate life in all its messy, joyous glory. Alright, let's talk economics for a second, because even paradise needs a way to pay the bills. And for both the Philippines and the Caribbean, tourism is the name of the game. I mean, let's be honest, who can resist the allure of pristine beaches, crystal clear waters, and a healthy dose of sunshine? We're talking millions of visitors every year, folks, flocking to these island nations for a taste of paradise. And who can blame them? From scuba diving and snorkeling to hiking and exploring ancient ruins, there's something for everyone in these tropical wonderlands. But it's not just about the natural beauty, folks. Tourism also provides much-needed jobs and revenue for these island nations, supporting local communities and helping to preserve their unique cultures. Of course, like any industry, tourism has its downsides. Overdevelopment, environmental damage, and the exploitation of local communities are all real concerns. But when done right, tourism can be a powerful force for good, promoting cultural exchange, fostering understanding, and helping to protect the very things that make these islands so special. Alright folks, let's talk about something near and dear to all our hearts: food. Because let's be honest, no trip to the islands is complete without sampling the local cuisine. And when it comes to flavor, both the Philippines and the Caribbean bring their A-game. We're talking fresh, vibrant ingredients, bold spices, and a healthy dose of sunshine in every bite. Think coconut milk, seafood fresh from the ocean, and tropical fruits bursting with flavor. In the Philippines, you've got adobo, a savory stew of meat marinated in vinegar, soy sauce, and garlic. Then there's sinigang, a sour and savory soup that'll tantalize your taste buds. And let's not forget lechon, crispy-skinned roasted pig that's fit for a feast. Meanwhile, the Caribbean is a melting pot of culinary influences, with African, European, and indigenous flavors all blending together in perfect harmony. You've got jerk chicken, marinated in a fiery blend of spices and slow-cooked to perfection. Then there's rice and peas, a staple dish that's both comforting and delicious. And let's not forget the abundance of fresh seafood, from snapper to mahi-mahi to lobster. Let's take a step back in time, shall we? Because both the Philippines and the Caribbean have a history as rich and complex as their flavors. And nowhere is that history more visible than in their architecture. We're talking centuries-old structures, folks, remnants of a colonial past that left its mark on these island nations. Fortresses that once guarded against invading forces, churches that served as centers of faith and community, and grand houses that whispered tales of wealth and power. In the Philippines, you've got Intramuros, the historic walled city of Manila, with its Spanish-era fortifications and grand churches. Then there's Vigan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its beautifully preserved Spanish colonial architecture. And then there's the Caribbean, where the architectural influences are as diverse as the islands themselves. You've got Spanish forts in Puerto Rico and Havana, remnants of a time when these islands were strategic outposts in the Spanish Empire. Then, there are the old town areas of the Dominican Republic, with their cobblestone streets, pastel-colored buildings, and charming courtyards. Alright folks, let's talk about a topic that hits close to home for millions of people around the world: migration. Because both the Philippines and the Caribbean share a common thread, a diaspora that stretches across continents, driven by a search for better opportunities and a brighter future. We're talking about nurses leaving their families behind to care for the sick in far-off lands. We're talking about engineers, teachers, entrepreneurs, people with dreams bigger than their island homes, willing to work hard and sacrifice for a chance at a better life. In the Philippines, you've got a massive overseas workforce, sending billions of dollars in remittances back home every year. It's a lifeline for many families, helping to put food on the table, pay for education, and build a better future. And then there's the Caribbean, where migration is practically woven into the fabric of society. From the Windrush generation that helped rebuild post-war Britain, to the countless Caribbean immigrants who've made their mark in the United States, Canada, and beyond, the Caribbean diaspora is a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and entrepreneurial spirit of its people. Let's be real, folks. Life on an island isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Both the Philippines and the Caribbean have faced their fair share of challenges, from natural disasters to economic hardships to the legacy of colonialism. But through it all, one thing has remained constant: the resilience and warmth of their people. We're talking about people who greet you with a smile, even when they're facing their own struggles. People who welcome you into their homes and hearts, sharing their culture, their food, and their stories with open arms. It's a spirit of generosity, of community, of finding joy even in the face of adversity. It's the kind of spirit that makes you realize that sometimes the most valuable things in life aren't material possessions, but the connections we forge with others. So, whether you find yourself wandering the bustling streets of Manila or swaying to the rhythm of salsa in Havana, remember this: you're in the presence of something truly special. You're witnessing the enduring spirit of island life, a spirit that's as warm and inviting as the tropical sun. So there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour of the surprising similarities between the Philippines and the Caribbean. Who knew that two regions separated by thousands of miles could have so much in common? It just goes to show that the world is a fascinating and interconnected place, full of unexpected connections and shared experiences. We've explored everything from their tropical geography and colonial past, to their vibrant cultures, delicious cuisine, and the resilience of their people. It's been a journey of discovery, of laughter, and of a newfound appreciation for these two incredible regions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights from around the world. See you next time.